What is going on, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of the Hand Podcast in a brand new year. Here we are kicking off 2023. Who would have thought, right? Who would have thunk it? Here we are, people. 2023, brand new year. I hope everybody has had a great start to their new year thus far. Hope everything's going well. Hope everybody is feeling healthy and excited to kick off this year and make it the best motherfucking year we can make it. All right, so for me, myself, loving it. You see what I'm wearing, right? Let's just dive right in. Let's just get this party started. You see what it is. Cowboy shirt, baby. It is playoff time. NFL playoffs. And I am so excited. These playoffs are going to be so fucking awesome. I can't wait. I mean, we're talking, of course, my boys, right? My Cowboys are playing the Bucks Monday night. We've got Buffalo. Buffalo's playing Miami. Welcome into the Ham Podcast. Ruby, welcome in. We've got Buffalo playing Miami. We've got who else? We've got Cincinnati playing Baltimore. We've got who else? Hey, welcome in, Velma. Welcome in. We've got, of course, we got the Giants playing. Man, I'm over here. I'm so excited. I'm forgetting matchups. The Giants are playing the Vikings, right? The Niners are playing Seattle. I mean, it's just the only two teams that aren't playing this week is Kansas City and the Eagles. They got their first round byes. Eagles for the NFC, Kansas City Chiefs for the AFC. Excuse me. And let me tell you something, man. I am stoked. A couple of the games I'm looking forward to. One that I didn't name was the Chargers versus Jacksonville. You're talking about the future of the league. Welcome in, Christian Rodriguez. Welcome in. Talking about the future of the league this weekend, right? We're talking Chargers versus Jacksonville. You got young quarterback on both sides. Justin Herbert is quarterbacking the Chargers. Then you got Trevor Lawrence quarterbacking for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm excited for that game. Both got good running backs. I think Eckler has the advantage. I mean, it's going to be an outstanding matchup. So excited. This is Justin Herbert. This is his third year in the league, second or third year. This is his first year in the playoffs. Trevor Lawrence, of course, is his second year in the league, his first year in the playoffs. I mean, imagine that. Last year, the Jags won one game. And now this year, they're AFC South champs, right? What a difference a good coach can make. Obviously, Urban Meyer didn't want to be there last year, and now they've got, Doug Peterson, former Eagles coach, and he has turned that Jacksonville team around, and he has got them playing some top-notch ball. Looking forward to that game. Buffalo, Miami, I think Buffalo's going to run away with that one kind of handedly, man. Had Tua Tagovailoa was playing, if he was playing, I think Miami would have a better chance. But without Tua, he's been diagnosed with another concussion. Shout out to him. Hopefully he's all right. But yeah, I don't see Miami winning that game without Tua. And then of course you got Baltimore versus Cincinnati, man. I'm excited for that game, right? But again, we're missing a star, right? Just like Miami's missing Tua, Baltimore will be playing without their starting quarterback, right? So, I mean, he's Mr. Everything for them, right? Not only does he pass the ball, he runs the ball. I mean, Baltimore's quarterback is everything. And then their backup, Huntley, he is having shoulder issues, so he didn't even throw the ball in practice today. So you're talking about not only is your starter hurt, but your backup's not 100%, and you got to go play Cincinnati in Cincinnati? Yeah, I think Cincinnati wins that game, man. And then, of course, in the AFC, the other matchup, you got, who was it? It's Buffalo, Miami. Yeah, those are the three games. Yeah. Now let's go to the NFC, right? NFC. Man. Okay, Minnesota, the Giants. I think Giants pull an upset. I really do. I think the Minnesota Vikings have been known to shit the bed, man. And Kirk Cousins, he in the limelight, he falls apart. And I think it's going to happen again. I think Kirk Cousins goes out there, lays an egg. The Giants have a pretty good defense. Of course, Daniel Jones has been playing lights out this year. And then you got Saquon Barkley, who's knock on wood, Saquon's been staying healthy. So, I think the Giants surprised the Vikings and beat them. And then you've got San Francisco and Seattle. Welcome in, Pedro. Welcome in. Welcome in, Eric. Welcome into the Ham Podcast. First time? Oh, I like it. I like it. We got new viewers. I love it. So, what up? What up, Eric? So, earlier in the season, the 49ers beat Seattle pretty easy, right? 27-17. I think it's going to be a much tougher game this time. I think Pete Carroll's going to have Seattle ready. I think Geno Smith goes out there and plays the game of a lifetime. But I do think San Francisco gets the win. I think their defense is just too good. Too good. And yeah, I think San Francisco gets the win. And then, of course, Monday night, we've got my beloved Dallas Cowboys. My beloved Cowboys playing against Tampa Bay, Tom Brady. This is not a matchup I wanted. I'm not going to lie to you. Not excited about this matchup. Tom Brady is 6-0 all time against the Dallas Cowboys. He knows it. Tampa Bay knows it. Cowboy fans know it. Cowboy players know it. They've got to get this monkey off their back, man. If we're going to make a run and we're going to become a legit playoff team, not just this year, but in the next few years, right? Go every season, become legit. We have to go out there and get this monkey off our back and beat Tampa Bay and Tom Brady. We have to. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We cannot go one and done again. Can't happen. If we go one and done again, I think you're going to see Mike McCarthy gone. I think you're going to see our offensive coordinator gone. And I think you'll see Jerry Jones make a run at what's his name? The old Saints coach. I think he makes a run at him, trying to bring him in. And, I don't know. Or maybe move up Dan Quinn from defensive coordinator to head coach. But I tell you what, heads are going to roll if we get knocked out in the first round again. It's not going to be pretty. It's not. But you know what? I have high hopes. Because one of the players that we have now, somebody like a Michael Parsons, he brings a different attitude to this team. Right? He brings that attitude of, hey, I'm not here just to participate. I'm here to win. I'm here to win championships. I'm here to be the best. Somebody tweeted the other day, because last season during the Pro Bowl, there was a race, right? They were doing, like, who's the fastest man in the league, and he ran against Tyreek Hill. And Tyreek Hill really didn't run full speed, but, Micah won. And somebody tweeted yesterday, hey, Micah, would you be excited to have a rematch against Tyreek and try to win legit? And he goes, I'm sorry, man. He goes, I'll be playing in a bowl that weekend. I'm not worried about the All-Star game. But you got this, Tyreek. That's the mentality. He's telling himself, I'm going to be playing in the Super Bowl along with my teammates. And that's the mentality Cowboy players need to have, right? No more of, hey, we're just trying to win a playoff game. No, we're trying to get to the fucking Super Bowl. Eric says they're too good to get knocked out by Tampa. They just need to get it together. They've been playing like crap lately, and Dak needs to step it up. I agree. Dak does need to step it up. And this is where it all starts, with our running game. Tell you right now, if we win this game, it's going to be because Ezekiel Elliott has about 85, 89 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. I'm not talking long touchdowns. I'm talking like on the 1 or 2 yard line, right? Where we're goal line, he's going to have 2 touchdowns. What's his name? Our backup. All of a sudden I'm forgetting names. It's Ezekiel Elliott and... Yeah, man, why am I forgetting names all of a sudden? But he's going to need to run. Not run, but he's going to need to have about 120 all-purpose yards, running and catching out of the backfield, right, with about a touchdown. Yes, Tony Pollard. Thank you, Eric. Right, Tony Pollard's going to have 120 all-purpose yards, running and catching. He's going to need to have a touchdown. Our 2 running backs are going to have to lead us to the next round, to give Dak that confidence, right? To get him believing, like, okay, I belong here, right? So it all starts with our running game, plain and simple. Okay, so Dak, Ezekiel, and Tony, be ready. Because this week, this game is on you. Defense, be ready. All year, the knock on us has been, we can't stop the run. Well, guess what? Tampa Bay hasn't been able to run the ball consistently all year. So one of them's got to give, right? Either Tampa's going to be able to run the ball or we're going to continue to stop them. Okay? We got to stop the fucking run. Welcome in, Joe Ortiz, to the Ham Podcast. We got to be able to stop the run if we're the Cowboys. We cannot let Leonard Fournette get going, get running downhill. We can't let their other running backs get going, because if that running game gets going, guess what happens? Play action. Tom Brady starts picking us apart. We can't let it happen. We got to stop the run, and we got to get pressure on Tom Brady. If we don't get pressure on Tom Brady, here's the thing that always pisses me off when the Cowboys play Tom, whether he played in New England or in Tampa. We always play him soft. We always try to play coverage and make him like throw into tough areas and this. The guy's a legend. Tom Brady's a legend at beating soft coverages, right? The teams that have had success against Tom have put him under pressure and made him throw the ball quickly, and that way he doesn't have time to pick them apart. We need to get out there and we need to unleash. Like Eric says, our defensive line hasn't looked aggressive lately. Well, we need to go out there and look aggressive. Micah, DeMarcus Lawrence. We get Hankins back this week. He comes back from injury, so that's a good thing, right? Odigizua, he needs to get going. He needs to get aggressive, right? Our rookie linebacker, he likes to play. They like to play him up on the line. We need to get him going, right? Sam Williams. Our defensive line needs to create chaos. Welcome into the Ham Podcast, Mike D. Yes, we are going to talk about Who Dey Bengals as well, baby. Don't worry. But Eric says put pressure on him. I agree. Yeah, we have to. We can't let Tom Brady sit back there and pick us apart. We got to put him under pressure. We got to make him feel like he's 40-something years old, right? We got to make Tom feel like he's 45. We can't let him sit back there and pick us apart, because in reality, our secondary is good, but we're not that great, right? We can get burned. And right now we're without Anthony Brown. We're without Lewis, right? Our usual slot corner. Yes, thank God that Deron Bland, our rookie corner, has been playing lights out. I think he's like tied for second or third in the league with 5 interceptions. Not just with rookies, but with all corners. He's tied as a rookie, right, with 5 interceptions. So, but it all starts, right? And then we're supposed to get Tyler Biadasz back at center this week. He hasn't played the last couple of weeks with the ankle strain. So now we can get our line back together, right? We can take McGovern out of playing center, put Tyler Biadasz back in, right? Move Tyron Smith back to the left side. Maybe put Jason Peters on the right side, right? And then Tyler Smith at guard, and then you got Zach Martin at the other guard, right? We need to make sure we get out there and we need to fucking play balls to the wall, all right? We need to play like our life's dependent on it if you're a Cowboys fan. Now, let's talk about that Cincinnati team. Mike D, let me tell you something, man. I mean, look, whether or not y'all were playing Baltimore with their starting quarterback, I still picked y'all to win. But the fact that he's not going to be playing this week, right? And now Huntley has a shoulder issue. He hasn't thrown in practice the last couple of days. So y'all get to play a wounded Baltimore team. Now, granted, their defense is still good. They still got good running backs, right? But one quarterback, the starter, not playing. Everything's not playing. And then Huntley, the backup, is having shoulder problems. So there's no reason y'all should lose this game, Mike D. Right? Cincinnati should go out there and they should dominate the Baltimore Ravens. And I agree. I hate playing back. I hate seeing my Cowboys play backup quarterbacks, as we saw against Washington. Oh, I don't even want to talk about that. That's over. Regular season's over. We're in playoffs. But I agree, because they're so, backup quarterbacks are so unorthodox. You don't have a lot of film on them where you can watch it, and they come out here and they do these just weird mechanics, and it's different. But that is a game you should win. Again, I'm picking the Giants to upset the Vikings. I think the Giants go out there and pull out the W, man. I think the Vikings, especially Kirk Cousins, is known to shit the bed. He can't play in big games. And then I've got San Francisco beating Seattle. I've got the Chargers beating Jacksonville. I've got Buffalo beating Miami. And I've got, who was the other game? Chargers. Yeah, and then we talked about Cincinnati. So What's up? Welcome to the Ham Podcast. James Flores, thank you for joining. But yes, it is playoff week. It is wild card week. So, Cowboys, let's get it going. Let's take a quick break real quick, guys, just for a moment before we go back into talking about sports. I know that house buying can be complicated, right? It can be frustrating. The paperwork is hard to look through. So if you're looking to buy a house, reach out to the Zamora Orduna Real Estate Group. They can help you with that. All right. So Zamora Orduna Real Estate Group will make the house buying process easy for you. So reach out to them. I posted the link on the Ham Podcast Facebook the other day. Check it out. If you're looking to buy a house, go check out Zamora Orduna Real Estate Group. They'll make that process easy. We got Mike D saying James Flores for president. President of what? Class president? President of the nerds? Come on now. Come on. No, James, great quarterback. James, we're talking about quarterback play, right? Let me ask y'all this. If we had to rank the quarterbacks that are in the playoffs, okay? Top 5 quarterbacks. Welcome in, Denise, to the Ham Podcast. Top 5 quarterbacks in the playoffs right now. Here's my top 5. At number 5, okay? Number 5, I'm gonna go Dak Prescott. Number 5. Okay. Number 4, I'm gonna go Trevor Lawrence. Number 3, Justin Herbert. Number 2, Joe Burrow. And number 1 quarterback, Josh Allen. Now, a lot of people may be thinking, you're leaving out Jalen Hurts. I don't think Jalen Hurts is really that great. He's been in talks for MVP consideration. Let's remind y'all, right? I know a lot of people have short-term memories, ADD, and all that good shit, but last year, at the end of the season, Philly was talking about getting rid of Jalen Hurts. Philly was like, he's not our quarterback, of the future possibly. We're looking at maybe drafting. You know what? I forgot about Patrick Mahomes. But you know what? I don't think no. I would take Trevor Lawrence over Patrick Mahomes right now. I honestly would, James Flores. What you got to say about that? But, you know what? Fuck it. Let me redo this. Hold on. I'm going to go Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence at 5. Justin Herbert at 4. Patrick Mahomes at 3. Joe Burrow at 2. Josh Allen at 1. Sorry, Dak. You're my boy. Prove me wrong. I hope you do. But, yeah, I mean, I can't wait for this weekend. It's going to be amazing. It kind of sucks that I have to wait till Monday night to see my Cowboys. But, hey, what can I do about it, right? The NFL decided to put America's team prime time. I don't blame them, right? They bring in the views. Let's make a quick transition, right? On New Year's Eve, next day, New Year's Day, Dak is top 8 in the category, bro. I agree. There's only 8 quarterbacks. I agree. Yeah, Dak's up there. But New Year's Day, there was a video released, right? I'm a huge UFC fan. And there was a video released of Dana White getting into, I guess, kind of like an argument with his wife in Mexico during a New Year's Eve celebration. She slapped him, and he reacted by slapping her back. Welcome in, Xavier, to the Ham Podcast. And Dana White reacted by slapping his wife back. Now, here's the thing. I just want to go on record now and say I do not, in any circumstance, condone men hitting women. I don't. I don't think it's right. Men should not hit women, right? We're just naturally stronger, unless you get some of these female bodybuilding women, right? But naturally we're stronger, right? We shouldn't be hitting women, right? But Dana kind of smacked her, and it wasn't really a smack like, I'm going to slap the shit out of you. It was more like, girl, what the hell are you doing slapping me? I'm worth $4 billion. It was one of those slaps, right? But of course the video got out. What if she got a knife? Yeah, if she got a knife, I'm gonna have to knock her out, James. I'm not about to get stabbed. Mike D says, whoop that trick. Just kidding. But so she slapped him hard. He kind of slapped her back, a little pop, like, girl. And of course, video got released. Whoever recorded on their phone released it to TMZ. TMZ went out and showed the video. But then Monday Night Football happens, and Damar Hamlin's cardiac arrest happens on the field, right? Which, hey, in case you haven't heard, he's been released from the hospital. He's actually back in Buffalo now. So big shout out to Damar Hamlin and his family. Glad he's doing well. Glad he's been released. Of course, they still got a lot more tests to do. But yes, big shout out to Damar Hamlin, number 3 from Buffalo. Glad you're out of the hospital. Okay, but the Damar Hamlin situation happens, and the whole sports world is only talking about Hamlin. So naturally, what happens? Yes, and shout out T. Higgins as well. Before we go back to Dana White, I thought it was so disgusting that some people, and Bart Scott especially, if you watch ESPN, Bart Scott, that lame ass linebacker from the early 2000s, said it was T. Higgins had blame in that, the way he lowered his helmet. First of all, Bart Scott, you were one of the dirtiest players in the league during your time, right? You're a piece of garbage as a linebacker, right? What T. Higgins did is a common play. First of all, he lowered his shoulder, not his helmet. Yeah, shout out to Micah Parsons for telling Bart Scott to shut the hell up, right, via Twitter. But yeah, so shout out to T. Higgins. Shout out to Damar Hamlin's family for reaching out to T. Higgins and saying, "Hey, it's not your fault." And then them going on in interviews and social media telling people don't blame T. Higgins, right? So shout out to them, right? So yeah, he was trying to truck him. Exactly. It's part of the game, right? So but anyway, so back to Dana, right? So the Damar Hamlin thing happens, and Dana White's kind of stuff flies under the radar, right? Nobody's talking about it. Why? Because of the freak incident that happens with Damar Hamlin. Well, then, as Hamlin starts to get a little healthier, now people start to bring it up. Well, what happened to Dana, right? Like, are you telling me he still has a job? And people are starting to call, like, how's he not getting punished? And, what are they going to do? Endeavor, which is the company that owns the UFC, right? They're also a agency that works with a lot of actors and athletes and all kinds of people, right? They're an agency, right? They own the UFC. They're the ones that bought them for the, $4 billion, right? So everybody's calling for Dana. A lot of people are calling for Dana's job, right? Dana went on TMZ the day after it happened, and he spoke to it. He said, "Hey, I was one of the guys that said that men should never hit women under any circumstance, and here I am having to speak to myself now. Speak to y'all about me hitting my wife." He goes, "It's uncharacteristic." He goes, "First of all, I want to apologize to my wife, my kids." He's like, under no circumstance, should men hit women? There was a lot of alcohol involved, and it's not an excuse, but there was. He goes, her and I have been married for 30 plus years. We've been through ups and downs. And, he's given the usual story. Then his wife comes out and releases a presser, right, saying, yeah, it's like Jerry Jones in the old pick having to explain, right? Welcome in, Daniel, to the Ham Podcast, right? So then the wife comes out and says, "Hey, that's out of Dana's character, right? Dana's never hit me before. He never has, this and that. It's not his fault. People, just, leave him alone, whatever." Some people came to his defense as in like, "Hey, he really didn't hit her. Yeah, he kind of smacked her, didn't really hit her." So today it's fight week, right? This is the first fight week of the year. There hasn't been any fights since December 14, something like that, right? So this week's the first fight week. Dana White did an interview, and he owned up to it again, right? He said, "Hey, first of all, the people that are out there defending me, don't defend me. What I did was wrong. I should have never hit my wife, right? Please don't defend me. I need to own up to it." And then somebody asked him if he was going to be punished by ESPN or Endeavor or anything like that. And he says, "I've been in meetings with them since it happened." He goes, "They're not happy." He goes, "But what are they like? What's my punishment? Am I going to be suspended for 30 days, 60 days? He goes, "That doesn't punish me." He goes, "Sure, I'll take 30 days off." He goes, "But that doesn't punish me. The only people that punishes are my employees, the fighters, the company. Those are the people that are going to suffer if I'm not here for 30 days or 60 days. He goes, "I'm not saying I can't be replaced." He goes, "But I am a big part of this company, and it's one of those things where yeah, he makes that company tick, right? That company is not what they are without Dana White. So Endeavor knows that, ESPN knows that. Right now, here's the thing with this, right? So I'm glad you mentioned that, Mike D. Mike D says, I haven't seen it. I can't judge. Is there a link? There is a link. If you go to YouTube, go to Dana White slaps wife. It's on there, right? Yeah, he said that, James Brodus, that he could have left in 2006, but he did it, right? I mean, look, in reality, that company doesn't happen without him. That company's not as successful now without him. If he's gone, it's going to be very hard to make that company tick without him, right? So he's not. He said, he goes, my punishment is having to live my life now as the guy who hit his wife. He goes, that's punishment. He goes, that's a big punishment. He goes, and I have to own up to that. He goes, there is no ifs, ands, or buts. I know that's how I'm labeled, is what he said. He goes, I know that's how I'm labeled now. He goes, and I have to own that. There's no going back on it. I made the mistake. That's punishment enough. Right? Welcome into the Ham Podcast, Priscilla. So, again, if you want to go check this out, you can go to the YouTube page, go to the Ham Podcast. You can always go back and watch this episode or past episodes on the Ham Podcast YouTube page, right? So, a lot of people are upset that nothing's going to happen to Dana White as far as the punishment goes with the altercation with his wife. Now, here's where I have a little bit of issue, right? Because Mike D said, I haven't seen it, can't judge it, right? This is where that double standard for me kind of happens, right? And again, I'm going to go and say this 100%. I do not condone men hitting women at all. A man should never hit a woman. Plain and simple. Welcome in, Gilbert. As a matter of fact, let me give you a little insight on how much why I feel so strongly about this, right? And this is a little insight on my life, right? There was a time where I was dating somebody, right? And it was kind of towards the end of our relationship. And we were arguing, and I was sitting on the edge of the bed. And she's yelling at me like, hey, are you listening? Are you listening? I'm looking dead at her, right? And she's, are you listening? And next thing I know, she punches me dead in my nose. Full strength. Boom. Dead in my nose. I get punched. Kind of like, whoa, kind of like jolts me back. I don't care who you are or who you get punched by. You get punched dead center on your nose, it's going to wake you up, right? So I look at her and I said, don't do that. I said, don't hit me. Please don't hit me. And she goes, what are you going to do? You're going to hit me back? I said, no, just don't. And before I could even say hit me, boom, punches me again dead in my nose, right? Bam. Now I've been punched twice by her and I'm just like, oh, man. And I felt a little trickle of blood this time, right? So I'm like, here we go. So I look at her and I said, you need to stop. And then as soon as I said stop, boom, third punch. So I stand up. She goes, oh my God. I said, I'm not going to touch you. I walk around her. I walk out of the apartment, walk around the apartment for about an hour until she could calm down, right? So that's how much I feel. That's how strongly I feel about men not putting their hands on women. Shouldn't happen, right? So if I got punched 3 times in the nose full strength and I didn't hit, there's no reason, right? Unless like James said, right? She's got a knife and she comes at you, then yeah, I'm probably gonna punch her dead in her face, right? I'm gonna go ahead and knock her out because I'm not about to get stabbed. But so many people, it's of course it's frowned upon, right? But yet as a society, we get fixated on serial killers. We want to tune in. We want to watch the video. We want to watch the documentary, right? The Dahmer documentary came out on Netflix last year. Everybody wanted to see it, right? Oh, Jeffrey Dahmer documentary. We almost, I don't want to say idolize, but we put them in this platform of like there's something bigger, right? This is a man. Like, let's just talk about Dahmer. This is a man who killed other men, who then severely, right, just chopped up their bodies, cooked some of them, ate some of them, right? They put them in the spotlight, exactly. Thank you, James. And he ate some of them, right? You look at like he's why I don't drink Budweiser, Mike. That's a good reason, right? Then you look at like the female, right? What was her name? Casey Anthony, right? Trials all over, right? people want to meet her, right? She's put on the news. Oh, she's sexy, right? Look at her, right? On social media. She's put in the spotlight, right? But this guy who's been married to his wife for 30 years gets in an altercation with his wife, smacks her once, right? After she smacked him. And again, I'm not saying that makes it right. I'm not saying that. I don't want these words to get twisted, right? He should have never hit her, but smacks her back, and now he's the worst human being ever. But yet we'll put these serial killers in a spotlight of whoa, right? Think about Jeffrey Dahmer when he went to prison, like they showed on the documentary. People were writing him letters, giving him commissary money, right? Making sure he got the better things in prison. But here we are calling for a man's job because he made a bad decision in his personal life. And yes, it was a horrible decision. I do not condone what he did. Mike D said, as bad as Casey Anthony is, she is a monster. She's fine as wine. Look, I agree, right? But that goes to what I'm saying. She's a monster who committed a horrible crime. And we kind of look at her like, damn, she's fine, right? Me included. But with Dana, he smacked his wife once, right? And it's like, you've got the government, the female caucus group out in California that's calling for his job, right? So it's like, as a society, what are we really doing here? Like, again, what he did was wrong. I don't condone it. But why are we calling for this man's job? Because it's something that of personal matter that he did, right? It had nothing to do with his job. It's like at my job, right? If and it's happened before, right? Let's say I remember one time years ago, I had a job, right, where a girl came to the office and said that her boyfriend was hitting her at home, right? So her boyfriend worked there as well. So we told HR, and HR is like, hey, nothing we can do, right? That's a personal matter. That happened at their house during non-work hours. If it happened during work hours, then yeah, we'd be more than happy to step in and help her, right? So his personal matter happened during non-work hours. Why are we calling for his job, right? And this isn't me defending Dana, not by any case of the imagination, right? Not by any stretch of it. What he did, again, was wrong, right? Welcome to the Ham Podcast, Bonnie. But why are we calling for his job when it's something that was personal, right? If it was that bad, she'd press charges, and he'd have to go to court. He'd have to go to jail, right? She didn't press charges. Hey, I get it, right? It's a slippery slope. Daniel says free Dana White. Yeah, so it's a slippery slope, man. Me and my friends were talking about this the other day, and one of my friends says, well, of course she's not going to turn him in, right? Of course she's not going to call the cops on him because that's her meal ticket. The guy's a billionaire. That's her husband. But then again, I told him, yeah, but she's been with him for 30 years. She was with him when he had no money, right? So I'm sure there was no prenup back then. So I'm sure if she really wanted to, she could turn him in, right? Divorce him and get half of that $2 billion. Billion with the B. Right? But she didn't. And then my friend, my other friend, his wife was kind of like, yeah, but that goes back to these women that they don't know how to talk, right? They don't know what to say. They get beat up and they're afraid to leave these men, right? And I said, that's a good point. So again, what Dana White did was wrong, but something that's personal that happened between them outside of his job, why should we call for his job? Mike D says Antonio Brown is the one who should be behind bars. How are you going to send a woman's son explicit videos? I agree. I think Antonio Brown is one of the biggest scumbags in the world. One of the biggest scumbags. And you know what, Mike D? I don't know if it's due to the hits that he took from Vontaze Burfict, where those two concussions he got. Who knows? But something mentally is wrong with that boy. Antonio Brown is a scumbag, man. Exposing himself in a pool in front of a bunch of people, throwing furniture out of a hotel room where it almost hit a kid, posting pictures, fake pictures of him and Tom Brady's ex-wife Giselle. Welcome into the Ham Podcast, Jerry Jones. Mike T says one of Jerry's kids, right? So, Antonio Brown, He's a scumbag, man. And then he's working with the idiot Kanye, right? They have their little group together. You want to talk about the blind leading the blind there? Oh my God. It's crazy to me, right? It is crazy what they are doing. Thank you, Bonnie. She said facts 100, right? So, again, guys, if you want to go and you want to watch some of the past videos of the Ham Podcast, you can go to our YouTube page, right? YouTube, the Ham Podcast. You can also check us out on Twitter. I'll put the links here on the Facebook. It's the_ham_podcast. We also have our Ham Podcast Instagram, the_H_A_M_podcast, right? And here's the thing for my ladies that are in here, right? We don't always talk sports. I promise you that. We love to mix it up, right? This podcast is about a little bit about everything, right? So if you all have suggestions, and I'm a man of the people, so if you all have suggestions that you want to hear on the Ham Podcast, you want to talk about, you want to join in with me and talk to me about it on the Ham Podcast, send me some of those ideas and we'll talk about it. Welcome into the Ham Podcast, Alex, right? That's what the Ham Podcast is. It is a podcast for the people, and I'm here to make the people happy. I'm here to spread joy, a little bit of joy every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, baby. But let's move on, right? I've digressed. Let's get back to the matter at hand. So Dana White, not going to be punished. It is fight week. I'm so excited. So happy to have UFC back. The last 3 weeks have been so boring on a Saturday with no UFC. Again, March 25th, if you are a UFC fan and you live in San Antonio, March 25th, there's going to be a UFC fight night at AT&T Center. Can't wait for that. Can't wait for tickets to go on sale. John Helmke and the Ham Podcast will be there, right? So it's going to be amazing. It's going to be so awesome. But let's turn the corner a little bit here, right? Y'all got to help me out here. Bonnie says, got to head out, but follow. Thank you so much, Bonnie. Thank you. Have a great night. Let's turn the corner here, right? I loved it. Last night there was that award show that was going on, and I am a huge fan of like Game of Thrones and House of Dragons. And last night, the House of Dragons show, I believe they won Best Dramatic Series, and they weren't predicted to win. So that's what was crazy. But one of the stars of the show, right, the young lady who plays the young Rhaenyra, she was absolutely drunk on stage, and I loved it. She's old enough to drink, so it's not like she was breaking the law or anything. She's in her 20s, but she was on stage, couldn't control herself, kept pointing to the crowd, pointing to the camera, drunk. Her co-stars were trying to like keep her calm on stage. It was so awesome, so hilarious, but so happy that the House of Dragons won Best Dramatic Series. What's got me a little sad though is the gentleman who wrote all these, right? That wrote the Game of Thrones book, the House of Dragons book, has said that it looks like HBO is putting these spin-off series on hold, right? So they were supposed to start taping season 2 of House of Dragons. Apparently they put that on hold. They were supposed to get ready to release or finish taping Jon Snow's spin-off. They put that on hold. And then, of course, Arya, the young lady who plays Arya Stark, was going to get her spin-off. They've put that on hold. Why HBO Max has put it on hold? That's a good question. Or HBO's put it on hold? That's a good question. Those would have been huge shows for them, right? Game of Thrones and House of Dragons has a huge following. So I'm going to stay tuned to see why they're putting these shows on hold when there's such big draws, right? I don't know, man. I'm curious. I'm excited. Hopefully they take them off hold because I'm ready for season 2 of House of Dragons. I'm looking forward to the Jon Snow spinoff show where they left off, where he went. Spoiler if you haven't seen if you haven't seen Game of Thrones, you might want to close your ears for about 30 seconds. But at the end of season 8, where he leaves the wall and goes off with the wildlings out to the true north, right? So they're supposed to pick up from there. I'm excited for it. They need to not put them on hold, right? But the night is coming to a close, my friends. So before I let you go, I just want to say one thing. Go Cowboys. We better fucking win this weekend. Don't let me down, Cowboys. I have a lot of people that will love to call me once they lose, especially my uncle, who is a 49ers fan. Uncle, if you're watching this, don't do it, man. If the Cowboys end up losing, don't call me, Uncle. I'm going to ignore the phone call, right? But no, I think we go out there this Monday night, and I think we beat Tom Brady. We get that monkey off our back. He's no longer undefeated against us after Monday. We move on to the second round, and we kick Tampa Bay's ass, and then we get ready for the next round, whoever we play, and we stomp them out, and we go to the NFC Championship, where we'll probably play the Eagles, and we'll beat the shit out of them. Welcome into the Ham Podcast, Lizette. But I'm looking forward to it. These playoffs are going to get amazing. If I had my way, it would be Cowboys versus Bengals in the Super Bowl. That would be my true utopia. I would love to have that happen. I would love to go out there and beat a young quarterback in Joe Burrow and just Jamar Chase, right? I'd love to go out there and beat Jamar Chase in a Super Bowl. I admire the Bengals team. I think they've got a very, very special team. James says he wants to see Bills and Cowboys. Here's the thing, though, man. The reason I don't want to see that is I think the Bills beat us. Their defense is phenomenal. They're all-pro safety, Jordan Poyer, which, by the way, congratulations, Jordan Poyer, selected first-team all-pro defense. And shout out to Micah Parsons, also selected today, first-team all-pro defense. So shout out to Micah. If he doesn't win Defensive Player of the Year this year, this shit's crazy to me. But looking forward to the playoffs, guys. Before I let y'all go, just some wise words. Stay safe, stay healthy, and just remember, it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. Y'all have a great Wednesday night. See y'all next week, everybody. Y'all have a good one. Love it. Can't wait. Super excited. And we are going to be back and ready to go next Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. See y'all later. Have a great week.